Now that we've adjusted all of our settings in the slicer, we're going to go locate a model, and we're going to bring it into the slicer and prepare it to 3D print. So first we're going to go to Thingiverse. I've already pre-selected this model. We're going to look at the summary. So as you can see here, it does not need any rafts, any supports. This shows medium resolution. I think 0.2 should be fine for that. And then infill 10%. You can go to download all files, but it's going to download a zip file, and I would rather just avoid downloading a zip file if I can help it. So I tend to go into the files and just download specifically the file that I want. This is showing the same file. One is an STL, the other is an OBJ. Either one will print. Since I have already downloaded this file, I'm going to go into Open Files, Mother's Day Sculpture, Files, and I'll select the STL. As you can see, it has imported on its back. If we were to try to print it like this, it definitely would not print without supports. You can see the red here showing where it needs supports. So what we'll do is we'll alter the orientation. I'm going to select this. There are a few different ways that you can do that. You can go to the rotate tool, it's on snap rotation, and just rotate until it's right side up. It does still show that it believes that it needs a little bit of support here. And under the arms, since the file says that it does not need those things, I'm going to ignore that. Or another way to orient your model would be to go to the select face. And then it just puts it directly on the face that you selected. I'm going to put this in the middle of the build plate. It doesn't really matter where you put it on the build plate. If you have a damaged build plate, you might want to put it in a place where there isn't any damage. So for instance, if you have a little bit of damage over here, you want to put it somewhere else. It is best practice for the life of your build plate to kind of move around the models, but I know that the center of our build plate is good to go. Just going ahead and checking our settings here. They're showing 0.2 millimeters. 3 walls. I'll go ahead and drop this down to 10% as it mentioned, just to save a little bit of material and save a little bit of time. 205 should be fine for our PLA that we'll be using. I do not feel that I need to adjust the travel or speed settings. I'll leave Z-Hop when retracted on, as this is kind of a tall sculpture, but I don't really feel like it's necessary. It probably won't run into the print. Cooling, won't be adjusting those settings. Support, since it said that we do not need support, we will not be selecting generate support. If we were to generate support, it would put support in these little red areas. I'll actually go ahead and show you what that looks like, and then we can come back and remove that support material. And then I'll leave the brim just because I know that I can take it off easily, but you don't have to put a brim or anything on here. That kind of has to do with your own printer, whether or not it has an easy time sticking things down to the build plate or not. And we will not be using dual extrusion. We have our second extruder disabled. So I'll just hit slice. Remember, we have supports on right now. It's showing 3 hours, 55 minutes, 44 grams of filament used. I'm going to go to preview just so we can look at where it's putting the support material. This wouldn't necessarily be too difficult to clean off, but if you don't have to use supports, it's for the best that you don't. That way you don't have any scarring, so whenever we take these off, there'll just be a little bit of roughness in those areas, especially on the child's face, which is not, ideal. So let's go ahead and go back to the Prepare tab and turn off the supports. Then reslice it and see how it changes. So now it's 3 hours and 30 minutes and 41 grams, so we've saved 3 grams of material. And I'll preview. And there's no supports here. I trust that the person who modeled this is correct that we do not need supports, so I would print it just like this. Something that you can do is you can save to disk, and you can go into your downloads or documents or anything like that. Currently, I do not have a USB drive plugged in or an SD card. Otherwise, I could save directly to the USB drive or the SD card that I would be putting into the 3D printer. Another way to do it is to connect your 3D printer to your actual computer, and that is where this monitor comes in. I will not be doing that. None of our printers in our lab are connected directly to our computers, nor do we have Wi-Fi connectivity from our computers to our 3D printers, and that is partially by choice, and also because within the IU system it can be a little bit finicky to get devices on the Wi-Fi. We can also go ahead and scrub through the layers. So we can see here that this is the gyroid infill. This is at 10%. You can count the walls. We have the outer wall, which is displayed in this red color, and then the inner walls, which are in the green color, so we have 3 total. You can see the infill in the legs here is pretty sparse. Again, I'm trusting the person who modeled this. And we can look at what it would look like if we changed the density as well. If I were concerned about the density of the infill, then I could bring it up. Let's look at 20% just so you can really see the difference there. As you can see, it's gone up to 4 hours and 2 minutes and 52 grams of filament used. So that made a pretty significant difference comparatively. When you go in, see that it is a lot more dense. Since this will not be used in any mechanical sense, there's really no purpose to increasing the infill. You would just be making a heavier object. And there you have it. That is our first model sliced.